Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, guys. This is, I thought I'd start a new possible series. This is from the book. The camera's a bit shaky, sorry about that, guys. It's actually hanging off one of those new things I bought. So, this is called Radd al-Muhtar. This is actually a very advanced book in Hanafi fiqh. So, if you're into Hanafi fiqh, then this is a very advanced book. And this is for someone who wants to study, who's studied quite a few texts before. Now let's go into this. So basically, this book is made up of 3 texts. Okay, so you have over here, can you see this part here? So let me highlight it in another color. Alright, so over here you have, see the in between brackets there? Yeah, there, there, etc. So that's one text, that is. Okay, so that's Tanweer al-Absar by Imam Tumurtashi. So he's written that. It's a very brief text. You can study it. It's like a bit like a Quduri kind of thing. Yeah, so you can compare it to Quduri. Then you have the writing that's around it above this line. Okay, so above this line, the writing there, that's another text. This is called Ad-Dur al-Muhtar. Dur al-Muhtar. Okay, Dur al-Muhtar. And then you have this text underneath here, under this line here. Oh, this big line here. You have all this. This is known as a Radd al-Muhtar. Radd al-Muhtar. See, every time I write it's shaking. So I think next time I'm going to have to clamp it on something which is not connected to the book. So, okay. So basically, the way this works is like this. So it's like threefold. First of all, you read this. So if you want to study this book, read the green parts or the brackets. You read that, try and understand it. So this is to do with Salat al-Janaza. So yuwajjah al-Muhtadar. So a person who is dying is made to face towards the Qibla. Wajaz al-Istilqa, and it's permissible for him to lie on his back. وَقَدَمَاهُ إِلَيْهَا, and his feet, whilst his feet are facing towards the Qibla, that's allowed. وَيَرْفَعُ رَأْسَهُ, and he raises his head قَلِيلًا, slightly. وَقِيلَ يُوضَعْ, and it's said that he should be placed كَمَا تَيَسَّرَ, whatever is easy for him, عَلَى الْأَصَحْ, according to what is more preferred. So this is his text. Then what you do is you read this part. Yeah, so Babu Salat al-Janazati. So now he goes into more detail now. Yeah, things that he's the guy in the green. Yeah, Tumurtashi is missed out. So the author of Ad-Dur al-Muhtar, he actually goes into greater detail now, talking about this. So what does he say? So he says Babu Salat al-Janazati. Now, the reason I've started from the middle somewhere is because this is just a test run. So if you guys are interested in this, if you guys will give me comment feedback as well in the comments, and if it's enough, then I'll see if it's worth doing an introduction on this book and covering parts of it, so that those who advance can benefit from it. Otherwise, then I might just leave it. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. So Babu Salat al-Janazah. So the first thing he does is he talks about the linguistic aspect of it. So he goes, Min idafati shay li sababihi. Salat is mudaf and al-janaza is mudaf ilayh. So he goes, this is an idafa of something, salat, towards something else. And the second thing is the sabab, the cause for the salat. The janaza, the deceased, that's the cause for praying salat on him. I.e., if a person is not dead, is alive, then there's no need for this funeral. But if he is dead, then obviously is. So this is idafatu shay li sababihi. وهي بالفتح. This word here is بالفتح. Janaza. وبالكسر السرير. And if you got a kasra there, then that's the bedding, the bed that you place the deceased on. وقيل لغتان. And some say no, there's two ways of saying it. Meaning, mayyit, the dead person, can be called a janaza or a jinaza. والموت. Now he talks about death now. So he says maut, the concept of death. This is either is sifatun wujudiyah, something which exists. It's actually something existent. خُلِقَت, created, ضد الحياة, opposite of death, opposite of life rather. In other words, this isn't something which is the absence. Like for example, if you have light, then if you remove light, darkness is the absence of light. Yeah, so he said it's not like that. It's like death is a creation and life is a creation. Both are two existent things. That's one opinion. Does that make sense? وَقِيلَ عَدَمِيَّة. And some say no, it's actually adamiyya, non-existent, i.e. when life does not exist in something, you automatically say this thing is dead. So death is actually the absence of life. So there's two ways they looked at this. This is just like looking at it from a philosophical kind of view. يوجه المحتضر. So a muhtadar, the guy who's dying, should be faced, made to face. وعلامته. What's the sign that he's dying? استرخاء قدميه. So a sign that he's dying is that his feet become loose. وإعجاج منخره. And his mankhar, his nose becomes disshaped, or it kind of becomes curved. Yeah, so that's what happens. وَإِنْخِسَافُ صُدْغَيْهِ. So the sudgh, there's two sides, the temples on his head, in khisaf, they start to go in. So if you've ever seen a person dying, then you've seen these kind of signs appear. So in other words, it's just telling a person, it's not like medically telling a person when a person dies. These are just signs that kind of the cheeks go in, the nose kind of becomes more curved, you can see it protruding, and so this is basically what happens when a person is dying. So, if the doctor says, he's going to die now, that would be a sign as well. So basically, that's what he's saying. Al-Qibla, towards the Qibla, ala yaminihi, on his right hand side. So he tried to put him on his right hand side so he can face towards the Qibla. This is the Sunnah method. Wajaza, however, it is permissible, istilqa, to put him on his back. Ala dhahri, istilqa ala dhahri. وقدماه, whilst his feet ilayha are towards it. وهو المعتاد في زماننا. This is the norm in our times. So the author here, this is what he's saying. This is the norm of our times. Okay, so the author of Ad-Durr al-Muhtar. Ad-Durr al-Muhtar, this is what he's saying. By the way, the author of the Durr al-Muhtar is Imam Haskafi. So ولكن يرفع رأسه قليلا. However, his head should be raised slightly. ليتوجه, so that he can look at the Qibla, he can face towards it. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all of it. So basically, when you come down here, let me slightly move this up. Don't want to move this too much. Okay, so you can see all my markings. By the way, these are not devil signs or satanic rituals or anything. These are just my way of, this is how I was taught when I was studying this book, to kind of label it and to mark things, important things. So, okay, Babu Salat al-Janaiz. So this part is written by Imam Ibn Abidin. Now, Imam Ibn Abidin is like a crucial guy in Hanafi fiqh. So he's like a guy who's gone through major texts in history and he's kind of come up with his own research. This is his research, and it's depended upon by lots of scholars in the world. Lots of scholars, they resort to this, they reference this when they're issuing fatwas. But it doesn't necessarily mean that his opinions are all taken. There's many things that are not taken. Okay, and you don't have to always take his books according to the Hanafis. So Babu Salat al-Janaiz. So Tarjama lis-Salati, he explained Salat or translated for Salat. Wa ata bi ashya zaida, and he brought extra things. So his tarjama means like to write a heading in Arabic. Yeah, so he's write a heading, not translation. So he's written a heading for Salat al-Janaza, but he's brought things that are not even associated with Salat al-Janaza. Like for example, the thing to do with Salat al-Janaza is from there to there, and he's like brought other stuff before it, other stuff after it. So all these things that he's brought, they got nothing to do with Janaza. It's only this part here. So he said, Ata bi ashya zaida alayha ba'duha shurutun. Some of these things are conditions, shurut, prerequisites, kal ghasli ghusl, like bathing, wa ba'duha muqaddamat, and some of the things are precursors, kat takfeen, like shrouding, wa tawajjuh, and making the body face towards the Qibla direction of Makkah, wa talqeen, and saying la ilaha illallah to the deceased or when he's dying, wa ba'duha mutammimat, and some of the things are completions, things that complete, كالدفن, like burial, وأخرها, and he's delayed this chapter. So in other words, Salatul Janazah is like a full stop there. So this is where people can get a bit confused, because there's no full stops and things or markings that we have in these classical texts. The normal reader, today's reader, will be expecting a full stop. So you've got to be careful here. So وأخرها, the next sentence. He's delayed the Salatul Janazah in this book into over here. In other words, he's mentioned it after Salatul Khawf. لأنها ليست صلاة من كل وجه, because it's not really a full salat from every aspect, i.e. there's no ruku in there, there's no sujood. وَلِأَنَّهَا تَعَلَّقَتْ بِآخِرِ مَا يُعْرَض لِلْحَيِّ, and because this is the last thing that will be done for a deceased person. So before anyone dies, this is like one of their last rituals. وَهُوَ الْمَوْتِ, and that's death. Everyone has to face death. So وَلِلْمُنَاسَبَةِ, and due to its appropriateness, خاصة, specifically, بِمَا قَبْلَهَا, with the previous topic, وَهِيَ, and that's to do with Salat al-Khawf. وَهِيَ أَنَّ الْخَوْفِ, Salat al-Khawf is basically like a salat that you pray when you're fighting the enemy. So you pray your salat, but it's kind of prayed in a different way. So أَنَّ الْخَوْفِ وَالْقِتَالِ, fear and fighting the enemy, قَدْ يُفْتِيَانِ الْمَوْتِ, might lead to death. There's a very high chance that a person will die. So because of that, he's brought the next chapter, which is to do with what do you do with the deceased. Does that make sense? So this is why when you go through these texts, in the beginning it can become a bit daunting and confusing, but if you get a bit of training and help with going through this, it's very easy. وَقَوْلُهُ لِسَبَبِهِ, so if you go back up above, when he said لِسَبَبِهِ, yeah, مِنْ إِضَافَةُ الشَّيْء لِسَبَبِهِ, if I try to bring this up there, okay, actually I can. So you see over here, it said لِسَبَبِهِ, doesn't it? So now he wants to explain this. He says, هُوَ الْجَنَازَةُ بِالْفَتْحِ, it is janaza with a fatha, يعني الميت. Yeah, what I mean is mayyit. So in other words, لِسَبَبِهِ, the he is explaining where that goes back to. Yeah, the he. هُوَ الْجَنَازَةُ بِالْفَتْحِ يعني الميت. So in other words, even though the word janaza is feminine, it's talking about the deceased, and janaza and deceased mean the same thing. Yeah, with a fatha and mayyit. This is mentioned by Ta. Now he does this symbolic things all around the places. He mentions acronyms or symbols, and that basically Ta is referring to another commentary. There's a commentary on this text, yeah, al-Muhtar, by Imam Tahtawi. So he quotes that a lot. Yeah, he quotes that a lot, very frequently. وَقَوْلُهُ بِالْكَسْرِ, so if you remember over here it says بِالْكَسْرِ. He says Sarir. He wants to explain that. He goes قال Azhari. Now Azhari is a famous linguist. So because he's written, I think it's تهذيب اللغة, yeah, which is a very kind of advanced linguistic book, like a dictionary. He quotes him a lot. لا يسمى جنازة حتى يشد الميت عليه. You don't call the bed a jinaza with a kasra until the dead body is tied to it, placed on it. مكفنا, whilst given or whilst in the state of being shrouded. This is in Ibdad. Yeah, so Imdad, this is another book. So again, see what he does? The author of this book, he is very, very particular about quoting people. So he won't like just come out with his own opinion, just like that. If he's found something in another book, he'll quickly quote it. He could have just written this and everyone would have thought, right, you know, he came out with this, but no, he says this is in the Imdad. Yeah, so you know, this is also another book that he quotes. So what I can do is, you know, mention what these words are all referring to, but I don't want to do that now. I just want to show you guys how this book kind of works. Okay, so okay, I think I'll just stop there, and you know, you tell me, guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is important? Do you guys think you really benefit from this? Because I don't want to, the thing is, I don't want to spend my time, because I only have a little bit of time to spend in recording and putting videos up. I don't want to spend too much time in doing things which are not going to be beneficial for a lot of people. Okay, so inshallah, you give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a like, inshallah, and leave some comments, inshallah. So your brother Liaqat Zaman, and take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.